struck him out. Stand, baby! Let's play!
Nothing quite like a little midweek Mariners matinee as the Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles wrap up the series. The rubber game here this afternoon from inside gorgeous Safeco Field. Happy you're with us as always for Mariners baseball on Root Sports. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Mike Flowers and our entire Root Sports crew. The sun is out, the roof is open, and Marco Gonzalez is up on the mound for the Mariners. Acquired by Jared Dipoto from the St. Louis Cardinals right near the deadline. Gonzalez helping to take over a pretty battered and bruised Mariners rotation, hoping to give Scott a little bit of length here today, at least a couple of times through the order, as the Mariners coming off a win last night in Game 2. We take a look at the lineup as written down by Buck Showalter. Mike,
it's a difficult lineup to get through. The Baltimore Orioles, they are third in average, third in home runs, and when you look at their lineup, you think of a lot of power. And Manny Machado hitting second, 23 home runs, hit a grand slam in the first game of the series. He will hit second. Jonathan Scope, a terrific year. He leads the club in home runs and RBIs, 26 home runs for him. Caleb Joseph will hit eighth in the lineup today, getting his first start of the series. For Gonzalez, you can see overall 3 starts and 8.49 ERA. This will be his third start for the Mariners. Last outing against Anaheim, pitched better, 4 1/3, 1 earned run. I think Scott would take that again, just trying to get through the lineup a couple of times. Fastball changeup, his average fastball this year, right around 92 miles an hour. Take a look at the defense for the Mariners. Guillermo Heredia will be in center field. Dyson getting the afternoon off. Danny Valencia, his first start at third base. Kyle Seager still under the weather, so Danny will be at third. Mike Zunino, even though he caught last night, will do the catching again this afternoon. Last outing against the Angels, just referenced it. You see 4 1/3, 4 hits, just 1 earned run, 1 walk. Stay away from the walks would certainly help him again. Orioles trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. 64 pitches in that last outing.
Here's Tim Beckham, who's been red hot since coming over from Tampa Bay. Former #1 overall draft pick goes after the first pitch, just like he did in Game 1 of the series. Fouls it off. Beckham homered on that first pitch of this 3-game series. Game 1 going to Baltimore, last night going to the Mariners. Slugs this out to right center field, and it is gone for another leadoff home run. Tim Beckham. Well, Game 1 he did it on the first pitch. He waited a little longer, 2 pitches deep into this game. His 17th gives the Orioles an instant 1-0 lead.
And we'll take a look at it. Fastball out over the plate, probably belt high. Going to see many right-handed leadoff hitters hit the ball out to right center field as he just clears the wall. His 17th home run on the year.
That brings up Manny Machado. Now his home run in Game 1 was out to right field, this time to right center. Kind of funny when you think about that trade now, and you probably could say the same thing at the time, with the Rays being where they are in the wild card race and the Orioles also. Rays giving up a pretty major piece. This one playable. Keno waits underneath it. Out number 1.
I think right now for Gonzalez, his changeup is going to be critical for him. Most of the time, you want to be able to locate your fastball to get to your changeup, but because Baltimore's so aggressive on the fastball, again, his average fastball 92 miles an hour. You either have to paint the corners at the knees with it, or keep them off balance, and his changeup will be a critical pitch for him in that regard. Pretty good curveball at times too.
And as we take a look at Beckham, both of his leadoff home runs this year have come in this series. Jonathan Scope stands in, looks at ball 1.
First curveball from Gonzalez.
Orioles lineup has Trey Mancini batting in the cleanup spot today. He waits on deck. 2-1.
That's a combination you're going to see a lot of today. Good fastball inside. This fastball at 92 is good enough to pitch inside. Only one left-hander in the lineup. That's Chris Davis. And they come right back with a changeup down out of the strike zone. Get him to chase it.
Pass to and into right field. Scoop is aboard, a 1-out single.
Robbie playing up the middle. That fastball probably off the plate away as he goes the other way with it, and Robbie playing up the middle, not able to get to it in time.
That brings up the rookie Trey Mancini, having a fantastic year. Mancini made his debut last year for the Orioles, but just a handful of games. Still a rookie this season. Now for Gonzalez, the Mariners and Jerry Dipoto going out and getting Gonzalez a little bit over a week prior to the deadline, coming over from the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Came over in exchange for outfielder Tyler O'Neill. We had a chance to see Tyler a little bit in spring training. We saw him here at the ballpark for Fan Fest. Young man from north of the border, and for as impressive of a bat as he has come a long way defensively. Look at this outfield right now for the Mariners, Mike, and especially the youth that this outfield features. And you wonder, when and where would Tyler O'Neill have had a chance to play for the Mariners?
Yeah, there wasn't going to be much of an opportunity for him in this organization. As you mentioned, one of the best outfields going. They're all young. And, you know, quite frankly, they have a need, and that is in their starting rotation. So many guys hurt this year. We've talked about it a ton, but they have to get some starters from somewhere.
Fights this off into right field. Martin comes in to make the catch. There's that number 2.
I'm laughing about it a little bit. I actually would have liked to have seen him throw the ball to first. Dyson with a great play in center field last night. He has really played well in the outfield. All of them with good throwing arms.
2 outs for Mark Trumbo.
Plus throwing arms.
Leadoff home run from Tim Beckham, his second this series. 1-0 Orioles. Trumbo swings and misses at the first pitch. Trumbo, an all-star last year. He led the majors with 47 home runs. Re-signed with the Orioles for a 3-year deal. Rolls over this to Segura. Underhand flip to Robbie. That ends the top of the first. A run in. Beckham, the leadoff shot. We go to the bottom of the first. Baltimore has a lead. Now some early run support for Ubaldo Jimenez, a longtime veteran, 33 years old, in his 12th big league season out of the Dominican Republic. As we take a look now at the lineup that he'll face.
And for the Mariners, Robinson Cano hitting .529 with a couple of home runs against Jimenez. He'll hit third in the lineup today. Nelson Cruz leads the American League with 96 RBIs. Nelson with a base hit and an RBI in last night's ball game. And Ben Gamel back in the lineup, had last night off, but he will hit 7th this afternoon. For Jimenez, this will be his 20th start, 5-7 record. ERA again over 6, 111 strikeouts, over 52 walks. He can get wild at times. Average fastball this year right around 90-91 miles an hour. Slider split to go with it.
Second pitch is soft pop-up. Scope wants it. Second baseman makes the catch for round number 1. I mentioned him being wild. He's never led the league in walks, but if you go back in particular the last 5 seasons, nobody has walked more batters than Jimenez. Put guys on.
Rick Gentry, the veteran, been around, going from the Rangers, the Oakland A's, but now going to play center field today. For the Orioles, at first base, Chris Davis, and doing the catching, Caleb Joseph, his first start of the series.
Adam Jones with the day off. Quick at number 1, in steps Guillermo Heredia. Showing bunt, looking at strike 1. Guillermo swinging a hot bat last 15 games, batting .370. An on base of over 400, a slugging of over 500 in that span.
We were talking about the outfielders earlier, and it's a nice luxury to have, one of the few that Scott has had this year, and that is with his outfielders. Consider Dyson not in the lineup today. He's really been playing well. He's a veteran guy, and he has to run a lot. So Heredia takes that call, 3rd strike. Leads the league in stolen bases for Dyson. But he can still give him the afternoon off after a night game because everybody else has been playing well.
That's a nice luxury to have. Dyson getting a breather today. 2 outs for Cano. And to be quite honest, for the Mariners in the outfield this year, it's kind of like instant riches. I mean, this is not something that has kind of slowly built. It's really since the tail end of last year when you see Ben Gamel coming over late in the season from the Yankees organization, Dyson coming over this winter. We saw Heredia last year, but obviously getting a chance to see him first full season at the major league level this year. And everything coming together at once. Haniger also coming over the day before Thanksgiving.
We talked about it, Aaron, but Jerry Dipoto, when he first came to the Mariners, took the job over, one of the things he identified right away is that they had to change things up in the outfield. He wanted to get younger and more athletic, and they tried that last year. And Martin was a big improvement in center field. But then you're right. The rest of the guys and the way that they have played already, how quickly he has come along. Martin now in right field today. Haniger on the disabled list. Gamel, as you mentioned, coming over in a trade. Dyson was a big sign for them. It's just changed everything when you consider the struggles that they've had on the pitching side of things, especially in their starting rotation, and how much that outfield has meant to them. I think the play Dyson made last night changed that game around.
Well, you'll never know exactly what would have happened, but you think about this Orioles lineup, the fact that it was a 2-run win for the Mariners, and at the time in which that play was made, runners around the corners for the heart of the order.
Albert's making his first start for the Mariners. You need to catch a break, and I think that, again, the play by Dyson, he caught a break right there. It was a terrific play to throw the runner out at the plate. Then he was able to get out of the inning, and it seemed to really settle down after that.
Couple of bounces over to Scope at second base. Side sacked down in order. We go to the second. Orioles lead at 1-0. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now the perfect day to swing by the market and then stop on by Safeco Field, or the other way around. Day baseball here. Final day of the homestand. Mariners and the Orioles wrap up the series, the rubber game. Now they stand this shot, Mike, just because you're a Husky. You know that.
Yes, I am aware. I know who's working in the truck. Yes.
Gonzalez facing Chris Davis. Starts him off with strike one. Fights this into left field for a base hit. Third hit today early on for the Orioles. Leadoff man aboard for Baltimore. As part of the Mariners' 40th anniversary celebration, the Mariners team store is offering a great lineup of apparel and souvenirs. Make sure to check out the 40th anniversary jersey, complete with the commemorative patch that'll be worn by the team this season. They're available now at Mariners team stores. Davis, a leadoff single into left field. He clears the plate for Joey Rickard. Rickard in a right field platoon with former Mariner Seth Smith.
He showed bunt. I don't think he was going to sacrifice too early in the game. We talked about it at the start. Danny Valencia getting the start at third base. Seager still under the weather, so this is the second game out.
Take a look at the updated wild card standings. Pulled to Danny Valencia, taken over for Seager today. Starts the double play. It's finished at first, and that wipes away that leadoff single.
And it's always good to get the first ground ball out of the way. Danny has played a lot of first base this year, obviously, and we thought in spring training we'd see a little more of this. Because of the situation at first, he became the everyday first baseman, but able to start the double play right here. Early in his career, he played a lot of third base. It's not a big problem for him at all.
Close at first, but an out. 2 out, space is empty for Caleb Joseph. Quickly, 0-2. Now this might be the final game of this series, but the Mariners will be seeing the Orioles shortly enough at their place to finish up the upcoming road trip for the Mariners. 3 games at Camden Yards. Segura to his left. Gobbles it up, and the side retired in order despite that leadoff single. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Baltimore. Orioles lead it as we move to the bottom of the second. Well, going to the game, it's a quick and easy trip on the Sounder Train, Link Light Rail, and ST Express buses. You can plan your trip at soundtransit.org. 1-2-3 first for Ubaldo Jimenez, who began his career in the National League with the Rockies. A fine 2010 campaign. Was an all-star. That first half of that season for Jimenez was one of the best ever. Went 15-1 with a .220 earned run average, and featured the first and the only no-hitter in Rockies franchise history. No hit the Braves. Faces Nelson Cruz going after the first pitch. Nelson trying to extend his hitting streak to 9 games now. Nelson has a chance to match some maybe somewhat obscure Mariners franchise history today, Mike. He was 1 RBI shy of matching Edgar's club record for RBIs in consecutive games. He has driven in a run in each of his last 8. You just saw his hitting streak of 8 games. Edgar, surprising, in 1995 drove in a run in 9 consecutive games. Spins him around in on the hands. There's out number 1. Strikeout number 2 for Ubaldo Jimenez.
Pitch above the belt, running right off the inside corner, ties him up. A lot of run to that fastball.
One out, nobody on for Yonder Alonso. They have the shift on for him.
Talking about Edgar, and in '95 he drove in a lot of runs that year and was critical to us, obviously, and a lot of it by just hitting line drives all over the ballpark. You look at Nelson, he's been hitting the ball out of the ballpark on a regular basis. And still sprinkling in a hit here and there with runners in scoring position. He's really done well this year as far as hitting for an average with runners in scoring position. A base hit last night drove in a run.
Leads the league with 96 RBIs. 1-2. Count stays put.
He's trying to keep the fastball in on his hands.
Out towards left field. Mancini is able to make the catch. Wow. That leads us right to our Big Fish Casino big catch.
The ball slicing away from him. You can see the sunglasses on. Backhanded play right in the end of the glove. Taking a double away from Alonso.
The rookie getting it done in left field. There's out number 2. Brings up Danny Valencia. One of the rare times where we will see Alonso and Valencia in the lineup at the same time. Another rare day out for Kyle Seager, under the weather, dealing with a stomach virus. We saw Espinosa at third base last night. Valencia gets the start there this afternoon.
Mariners with a day off tomorrow, so hopefully Kyle will be back in the lineup on Friday. Start that series in Tampa.
Shot out to right center field, back towards the track and off the wall. Gentry plays it on a hop. Valencia, a 2-out double, first hit today for the Mariners.
Four pitches, all of them to the outside corner. This one about belt high. He barrels it up. Short off the fence in right. We'll bring up Ben Gamble, an opportunity to drive in a run.
Tying run at second. I think it'll be exciting to witness what this lineup can do on the road trip. You look at the ballparks that the Mariners will be going to. Basically every ballpark in the American League East is a bandbox, and maybe the Trop is the most neutral of the entire group. But then the ball has just simply been flying out of that new ballpark in Atlanta. And then we know what can happen in terms of the long ball, especially out to right field at Yankee Stadium and Camden Yards as well.
Camden Yards pretty much anywhere in that ballpark. Yep, hopefully the guys will have a good road trip swinging it.
This is a team that's been playing very well on the road. Coming to town following that 6-3 road trip. One ball and 2 strikes to Gamble. Jonathan Scope's been pretty busy so far the first couple of innings. That'll wrap up the second. Valencia, after that 2-out double, left stranded. We are off to the third. Well, we'll take a look now at today's T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. Giancarlo Stanton, since August the 4th, he's playing all right. 11 home runs, more than a host of teams, including the Braves, who are at the bottom with 7. Now, unfortunately for Stanton, the Marlins game is in the books. No home run today for Giancarlo, so his streak of 6 games in a row with the dinger has come to a close, and Junior is safe. Which I was thinking about this last night, Mike. I think I'm interested in your perspective on it. I think for the most part, we are all excited to see most records broken in this game.
Sure.
It's pretty fun when new ones can be set, but that was one that is pretty special. I was kind of rooting against Giancarlo, I have to say.
Were you really?
I mean, I feel bad saying that. Giancarlo seems like a fine guy, and he's one of the elite power hitters of his generation. But that's a pretty sweet record that Junior is a co-owner of.
Right. And one of the other ones was Stanton's manager.
That's true, yeah, Don Mattingly.
So when the game was over, if Don had your frame of mind, he'd give it the fist pump or something?
Way to go, way to go. Now, what were your thoughts on that when you saw Giancarlo get to 6 yesterday?
I think that it's great for the game, so whatever is best for the game. I mean,
you're such a good person, Mike.
No, I think it's great for the game.
I totally agree. I completely agree.
It was a lot of fun being a part of the team when Junior was doing it. In fact, I found out that it was even a thing because I was teammates with Mattingly after he had already done it. I found out something about it, but I didn't realize, speaking of Don Mattingly, that he had hit 5, went to the All-Star break, and then picked it up after the break. That to me it would be pretty tough to do.
His bridge the break.
In other words, he's on this groove, and then all of a sudden, we'll stop that for 3 days.
And I feel like he actually hit, and I could be wrong on this, I feel like he actually hit 9 in 8
home
games.
runs.
Yes. And Dale Long is the 3rd member of the 8 consecutive game home run club. But bridging the All-Star game, the All-Star break, has to make them more difficult.
I can't remember.
Right to Valencia. There's that number 1.
I can't remember which home run it was for Junior. It seemed like it was the 3rd or 4th one, maybe. When I felt that this is probably going to happen, is he had an opposite field home run. I believe it was in Cleveland, which you have to hit it pretty good out towards left center. And I thought he has his swing dialed in right now. If he's doing that, hitting the ball the other way and hitting it out of the ballpark, especially as far as he did, not knowing that he would go on a run of 8 in a row.
Sure,
it was a lot of fun.
One out here, it's Tim Beckham. Speaking of home runs, a home run to begin the ball game. Second time he's led off a game with a home run this series.
And unlike you, I was hoping that he would hit the home run on the 9th day.
No, I would have been pro home run in that situation.
Oh, you would have?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you were a big Mattingly fan.
1-1. I'm very pro Junior.
We all are.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Now, Nelson has homered in 5 consecutive games multiple times in his Mariners career. And it goes to show you how tough that is when one of the more prolific power hitters the last 5 or 6 years, Nelson Cruz, taps out at 5. It's not easy. A lot of guys would kill for 5 home runs in a month, let alone in consecutive days. 3-1 to Beckham.
It's still pretty rare, but I mentioned that with Nelson. The one thing that's surprising to me is that he hasn't hit 3 home runs in a game. He's hit 2 in a game a number of times to give himself an opportunity to do it.
Over 20 times he's done it.
Yeah.
The updated number is 23. Raked over to Segura. Beckham running hard, but out number 2.
I wonder if part of that is because when Nelson hits his home runs, they're not scraping the wall.
Right.
And maybe after they see a couple of them that have gone 450, they just pitch around them a little bit. What do you think?
That probably is part of it.
Tired of being on the highlight reel?
Seriously. 2 up, 2 down now facing Manny Machado. Now this might surprise you even more. Hank Aaron.
Yes.
Had 1 3-homer game. He did it 1 time. Hammer and Hank. it's almost more surprising.
Maybe when you get a chance to interview him in Atlanta, you can open with that.
Hey, what are we doing?
I think you should have had more than that.
Tell me somewhere caught on the wall, right? When it was blown in.
What a career.
Finished with 755 of them. The 3-0 to Machado. He goes.
He seemed, from what I can remember too, he was one of those just consistently hitting 30 every year.
That's exactly what it was. He had some big years. Deep in the hole to Segura once more. Nice side and set down in order. Gonzalez has faced the minimum each of the last 2 innings. We'll see Mike Zunino when we make our way to the bottom of the 3rd. On to the bottom of the 3rd here inside Safeco Field. Well, the Mariners and EQC salute the men and women of the armed forces with a special ticket offer at nearly all home games this season. Members of the U.S. military receive 10% off select seats. Tickets are available when you show your military ID at the Safeco Field box office. Ball 1 to Zunino, who leads off the home 3rd. A little bit of a quick turnaround from Mike, who caught last night's game. Pulled inside the bag past Machado. All the way to the corner in left field. Leadoff double, Mike Zunino.
And we'll take a look at Mike. Machado covers a lot of ground at 3rd, but this is just hit sharply past him. Unable to make the backhanded play. See the Mariners take advantage of a leadoff double.
Second double off Jimenez in the last 3 batters. Valencia was stranded at second base last inning. Here is Martin. Showing bunt, pops it foul.
Yeah, and I don't think he was necessarily pulled the sacrifice. Probably up to him on what he wants to do.
2-2. Now this series did not get off on the right foot for the Mariners. Lopsided loss to the Orioles in game 1, but winning last night. An appeal down to third base. Martin does not go.
He's going to have to battle. Let's see him put the ball in play. At least give Mike a chance to move over to third.
Levels the count out. 2 balls with 2 strikes. Jimenez earlier this season was demoted to the bullpen, made 5 relief outings for Buck Showalter. And back in the rotation. That comes in. Is that for the nod?
I think so.
Close call there for Martin.
Take a look at it. It's choked up a little bit on the bat.
Yeah,
that's off the knob.
Another 2-2. Inside to make it a full count. Segura on deck. A couple of hits last night for Gene, including a run-scoring base hit. Mariners have Zunino out at second base for this 3-2. Beckham making sure Mancini stays clear. There's out number 1. Now we'll take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next. A day off tomorrow for the Mariners. Then it's on to Tampa Bay. Erasmo Ramirez will be pitching against his former club in game 1. Ariel Miranda going for the Mariners in game 2. Giovanni Gallardo going against Seattle native Blake Snell in the series finale from the Trop. Joe Odorizzi was a little dinged up not too long ago, but back in the rotation now for Tampa Bay. Kevin Cash. 1 out, 1 on for Gene Segura. Second straight inning, the Mariners have had the tying run in scoring position, trying to cash in this time around. Line is out for Beckham. 2 outs. About as perfect of a day as you could hope for some midweek Mariners Day baseball here at Safeco Field. Happy you're with us. Mariners wrapping up the only homestand of the month. Hitting the road for a 4-series road trip, but then the Mariners come back home for a pretty nice lengthy homestand to begin September.
Heredia with a strikeout looking his first time up, but he's been a hot hitter last 15 games, hitting .370.
First pitch slugs this down the left field line. Base hit. Zunino coming around to tie this game up. Heredia steams into second base. Third double today for the Mariners against Jimenez, and the latest off the bat of Heredia evens the score at 1.
And a clutch double. Did not want to see the Mariners waste the leadoff double by Mike Zunino. Jimenez getting a couple of outs, but then Heredia, he has been hot. Always runs hard out of the box. Getting a chance to play center field this afternoon with Dyson out of the lineup.
Homestand for Heredia. He's in scoring position for Cano. Robbie going after the first pitch. Lofts it to left towards the alleyway. Mancini was lined up right about there. Cano on the first pitch is out number 3. Heredia stranded, but drives in a run to tie the game. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. A win today for the Mariners means a series win against the Orioles. Always busy down by South Lake Union. We start the fourth here inside Safeco Field. Jonathan Scope leading things off, an all-star this year.
Had a base hit his first time up, going the other way. Cano playing towards the middle again. Hitting it to the left of Robbie for a base hit.
1-1. To Segura.
He's been busy.
He has. There's that number one.
Tells me that Marco Gonzalez has a pretty good changeup today. Looking at changeup away from the right-handers, get him to roll over it. Keeping Segura busy.
Well, last 3 outs have gone to Segura. And 4 of the last 5. Now we're talking. Now, I'm just surprised he can hold it above his shoulders for that long.
That's great. I think it's broken in too. Yeah.
Oh, 0-2 on Trey Mancini. Tragic development, speaking of gloves, at the Goldsmith household this morning. Mike went outside this morning before making the way to the ballpark to find that the little man's glove was left on the wood chip pile. Sprinkler system got it. So we're trying. We got the hair dryers on it now, leaving it out in the sun, trying to do everything we can to dry that out. Doing our best, Mike. Any pro tips would be appreciated.
I would suggest putting a softball in it.
Okay.
Tie a string around it and just put it on a hanger and put it out in the sunshine.
Done. Noted. Good lesson in responsibility taking care of that glove. Into right field for a base hit with 1 out. Mancini is aboard.
Oh, it won't be the last time.
I'm sure it won't be. That brings up Trumbo.
Since it's probably a smaller glove, I would just put a baseball in.
The glove itself is about the size of the softball.
Yeah, so put a baseball in there.
That'll work. Trumbo fielder's choice, his last at bat.
I had to rethink it. I thought maybe he had a glove like Cespedes.
one day. He swings about as wildly as Cespedes. This makes a little better contact, though.
I don't know if the way the game is played today encouraging her.
Oh yeah, no, he's been watching. The 2-0. Gonzalez faced the minimum in the second and in the third, having to work around a 1-out single by Mancini. Has Davis on deck. Currently facing Trumbo and behind in the count. Quickly out to Segura on a Cano, and here is the second double play. That gets Marco Gonzalez and the Mariners out of the top of the fourth. We go to the home half. Game is tied as we make our way to the bottom of the fourth inning. We'll take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Final day of the homestand going on right now. Off to the skies as soon as this one is in the books. Off to St. Pete, taking on the Rays for 3 games. Then the Atlanta Braves, some interleague play. A day off in the Bronx, 3 days against the Yankees, and then the road trip finishing up at Camden Yards against these Orioles. I mentioned it earlier, the Mariners will come back to start September here at home. Pretty lengthy homestand to begin the final month of the season. Nelson Cruz begins the bottom of the fourth inning, looking at ball 1. Two and one. Cruz a home run shy of number 30 on the season. Easy to forget the popular sentiment among the fan base when Nelson Cruz was acquired by the Mariners. And that was, well, he hit 40 home runs last year at a very hitter-friendly ballpark at Camden Yards. And if he can come to Safeco Field and hit 30 on a multiple-year basis, I think we'd all be really happy with that. Well,
I think that we would have.
We probably would have been. And probably we didn't even account for the fact that he'd be hitting in the upper 280s to 290s. Each and every one of those years as well. And now he's simply hitting over 40 home runs a season in a Mariners uniform. And now gets hit by a pitch.
Just like a breaking ball, off-speed pitch. Barely gets a piece of him. They hit that elbow pad that he wears.
Second straight inning, the leadoff man has reached.
And this will be his 4th year in a row with 40.
Correct. Only member of the 40 home run club the last 3 years. One and nothing to Alonso. Turned out to be a pretty good signing, I guess is the point.
Yeah, it turned out terrific.
The other thing, I don't know how much you knew about this, Mike. I didn't really have a great perspective on it when the Mariners acquired Nelson Cruz, was how good of a clubhouse guy he is, and just so beloved by current and former teammates alike. A couple of years ago, when we were talking with Nelson about where that came from, he said that Michael Young was kind of the teammate that he looked up to when he was in Texas, and a guy that treated him so well. And then he said, and you know, I like to think that I've always been a good friend too. Just a good person, and it translates into his work life as well.
Well, I think the thing for me just watching him is the first time that we went back to Baltimore. And keep in mind, we spent a lot of time in Arlington, the 1 year in Baltimore, but walking through, knowing security guard's name, usher's name, saying hello to people, stopping to talk to him. I mean, he gave him some of his time, but he was aware of who everybody was. That's a pretty rare thing in this game.
The 3-1. Full count to Alonso. Jimenez working with the go-ahead run at first base. Nelson Cruz hit by a pitch. Throttled out to right field. Yonder, Alonso hits first home run in a Mariners uniform, and it's given the Mariners the lead. His 23rd in total this season for the All-Star.
And speaking of home runs, for Alonso, every home run he hits is another career high for a single season. Darren mentioned his 23rd. This is a fastball, 91 miles an hour, and it is right down the middle as he barrels it up to right. Not much doubt about it.
Valencia going after the first pitch. Scope making the catch in shallow right field. There's out number one. We go back to the homer. All 4 hits have been 4 extra bases off of Jimenez. 3 doubles and now a homer. Mike, this has to be energizing, and Yonder has spoken to this point. It has to be energizing for a guy in Yonder's position, coming over from Oakland, a last place team, far under 500, being injected right into the midst of a wild card race here in Seattle.
I would certainly think so.
Gamble is out number 2.
As a player, especially you get to this point in the season, you want to play for something outside of yourself. Makes it a lot easier to come to the ballpark every day.
Scott having a conversation with Adrian Johnson, our home plate umpire.
Mike Zunino with a double, his first time up. Double down the left field line. Hit the ball hard, was able to hit it past Machado at third.
Down at the plate, 1-1. Alonso nearly had a base hit his previous at bat, but was robbed in a fantastic catch by Mancini in left field. For Alonso, you look at his numbers this year against right-handers, and OPS far north of 900. This is line foul. 2-2. Now did the glove get it?
It's tough to be quick when you're dragging a glove around. It looks like that.
Let's take another look at a young J.J. Hardy here.
Pretty good hustle.
There'll be other chances.
Oh,
got it. All right. Old foul once again. Almost another chance right there.
A couple of off-speed pitches to Mike. Both of them right in the middle of the plate. He's out front just a little bit, a little quick.
To Zunino, he reaches for the second time in as many tries. That extends this fourth inning for the Mariners. Well, join us for the final Bark of the Park night of the season on Tuesday, September 5th. For just $50, you and your pup will receive a ticket to the game, a Mariners dog tag, and the opportunity to walk around the bases post-game thanks to Amazon Pets. Log on to mariners.com/bark for more information. It'll be a good series with the Astros coming to town. 2 outs, a man aboard. Here is Martin. Martin, pretty lengthy battle his last time up, an 8-pitch at bat. It ended with him popping up to short. Here 0-2.
With a couple of strikes, the outfield will shade him the other way.
Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch count starting to run up there a little bit for Jimenez. Alonso with a big blast this inning, and back of the hit batter Nelson Cruz that makes that home run a 2-run homer. Shallow center field. Beckham is out to make a nifty catch. That ends the inning. Zunino stranded, but Yonder Alonso, welcome to the Mariners, going deep. With a man aboard, he has given the Mariners a 3-1 lead.
Hi, everybody. Angie Mentig here at the Ford Sports Desk. It doesn't matter what you have to tell your boss. It doesn't matter how you get here. Just get here to Safeco Field. Jeff D'Amico and crew headed this way. Ichiro Kano and Griffey with Jeff. Use that hashtag Where I Root presented by Alaska Airlines, and we'll try to get your photo on the air. Guys, back to you.
Hey, whatever it takes, Angie.
Yep.
Whatever it takes. Slow swing and a miss. Chris Davis.
This will be interesting to me. Talked about it with Gonzalez, and we saw it last night with Albers on the mound. And that is Scott Service talking about the rotation now and all these different guys, and he has a little bit better feel for Marco Gonzalez. This is his third start with the Mariners. Albers last night his first. He's throwing the ball extremely well. And he's talked about getting through the lineup twice. He's working his way towards that. Mariners have a lead. Will he turn it over to the bullpen early again, regardless of what the score is or how Gonzalez is pitching? And right now he's really throwing the ball well after some off-speed pitches. Elevates the fastball right where Mike Zunino wanted it to pick up a strikeout. Nobody getting loose in the bullpen. So we'll see. And just like in last night's game, a solo home run in the first, and he's settled down, really throwing the ball well.
You know, Mike, what you just said was very accurate, but it is a little comical, don't you think? That Scott's seen Marco twice. He knows him well now. I mean, relative to the rest of the rotation.
It's really not comical. It's painful at times. And I'm sure that Scott would tell you that too, but it's the case. At least he can tell the command that he has today, what he's trying to do. Just a better feel, and probably just knows him better. But that's what it is.
Seriously.
Yeah.
2-1 to Rickard. Now Gonzalez going 4 innings, then 4 1/3 innings in his previous 2 starts.
Against Kansas City, he threw 76 pitches. Now a 65, 42 strikes, throwing a lot of strikes. And again, has had an excellent changeup. He's pitched in just enough.
Wide left field and in for a base hit. Gamble cuts it off. A 1-out single for Joey Rickard. Let's take a look at our Coors Banquet timeless moment. Most games played since 2012. Kyle Seager leading the charge. Cano right behind him. Seager having to miss his 2nd straight day today because of a stomach virus. And these signs are becoming pretty popular. And the Corey's brother, the alternate jerseys that we'll be seeing in the Bronx on this upcoming road trip for the Mariners. Alternate jerseys will be worn by every team that weekend, and players getting to choose their nameplate, and Kyle's saying Corey's brother.
I like it. We're looking at that list. I noticed that they were all infielders. No surprise there. They're the tough guys on the team.
Those are the tough guys, aren't they, Mike? Yeah. Who else do we have there? Altuve,
Escobar,
Elvis Andrus, and Mike, you've got an alternate jersey coming your way that weekend, I hear. Yes. And we'll hope to see you wearing that around Manhattan when you walk around for your lunch. Is that former Yankee Mike Blowers?
Only if you're buying.
Nothing in 1 to Caleb Joseph. Oh, 2.
Another good fastball in on his hands.
Move to first. Gonzalez, a former first-round draft pick by St. Louis, a Gonzaga product. making only his 10th career big league start here today. This is softly flicked into right field for a base hit. Rickard put it on the Jets, motoring into third base. Throw gets away, but backed up behind third base by Gonzalez. And that keeps runners put first and third.
Right off the end of the bat. Pretty good pitch down. Probably a ball. Just dumps it into right field. With that base hit, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. making a trip out to the mound. Next pitch will be 70 for Gonzalez.
You saw the pitches per inning. He's had a couple of quicker innings because of double plays turned behind him. Double play in the second, double play in the fourth as well. And faced the minimum the previous 3 frames. Facing his 4th batter here, Craig Gentry. Not missing by much, ball 1. Well, for Gonzalez, his major league career has been minor enough that it's kind of tough to draw too many conclusions, but you look at his time in the rotation or the bullpen at the major league level, spanning 14 outings. He'd had a grand total of 3 double plays turned behind him in his career. Has had 2 today and a chance for 1 here to end the inning.
And we'll see if he go back to the changeup. Changeup's been a good pitch for him today. He's trying to get the right-handed hitters out on their front foot. And a weak ground ball out to Segura.
1-2.
That was the changeup right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Between the legs of Zunino, and that brings home Rickard. A wild pitch gives the Orioles a run.
And another changeup, 82 miles an hour. And Joseph will move up into scoring position, the tying run now at second base.
Here comes a 3-2. Shot high out towards left center field. Gamble out of the track. Can't make the catch. Heredia playing the carom. Joseph is around to score. Headlong slide. Craig Gentry in this game is tied.
Fastball right in the middle of the plate, 92 miles an hour. Heredia was shading towards right center field, not able to get out into left center field. You can see short hops the fence right in front of the pen. Now the Mariners will bring their infield in with just 1 out.
Go ahead run at third. Beckham swinging after the first pitch.
Emilio Pagan starting to get loose in the pen.
Another strong outing last night by Pagan. Through the left side, the Orioles are taking the lead. Second RBI today for Tim Beckham. A 3-run fifth inning for Baltimore.
And this is on a changeup out in front of it, 83 miles an hour. The infield in, he hits it past Danny Valencia, getting the start at third base.
That's 4 consecutive base hits by the Orioles. This following the leadoff strikeout on 3 pitches, no less, to Chris Davis. Now facing Manny Machado. Another move that way. Tony Zick getting loose now. Two and 0. Gonzalez had faced the minimum in the second, in the third, and in the fourth. Now 4 consecutive base runners here in this fifth.
His season high as far as his pitch count, 98. That was in the minor leagues. He's now at 80 pitches. That's the most he's thrown for the Mariners in his 3 starts. And Tony close to being ready.
Machado pokes this through the right side. It sends Beckham into second base, takes a wide turn, gets back to the bag. 5 consecutive hits for the Orioles. And let's see what Scott wants to do.
I think that'll probably be it. And he's on his way out of the dugout.
We've got a pitching change. Jonathan Scope due up next with 2 men aboard. Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Marco Gonzalez. 5 straight hits. Orioles taking the lead. Take a look at the final line today for Marco.
4 1/3, 9 hits, 4 runs. They're all earned. 82 pitches for him, 54 strikes.
The exits responsible for Beckham at second, Machado at first. Time now for our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen.
That'll bring us Tony Zych. 43 appearances on the year. He has pitched well for the Mariners. A 2.79 ERA, 35 strikeouts, and 38 2/3. Opponents hitting just 206 against him. Good two-seam fastball at 95 miles an hour. Hard slider.
Worth looking back to last night, the bullpen work in back of Andrew Alvarez. We saw Pagan warming up just a moment ago, Mike, but bullpen last night was fantastic.
They were really good, and again, I think that if you're going to see the Mariners win ball games, you're going to see quite a bit of this. The starters trying to get through the lineup a couple of times. If the Mariners have the lead, turn it over to the bullpen. The bullpen has been a real strength of this club. Diaz with 13 saves here in the second half of the season.
As you can see the note there, that group of pitchers retiring the final 20 Orioles batters face. So last time that something along those lines had happened, you have to go back to Felix's perfect game, which we happened to celebrate the anniversary of that yesterday. Jonathan Scope climbing in. He's 1 for 2 today. Goes it inside with ball 1. Clobbered foul, 2-1. Gonzalez holding the Orioles to just 1 run over the first 4 innings, but a 3 spot here in the 5th. This is shot down by the pole. And a foul ball. Now this Orioles lineup, not an easy one to navigate through. They've been one of the most deadly lineups this year, especially in the second half.
It'll be interesting to watch Tony Zych as he goes to see if his velocity will jump up. Right now, his fastball at 91 miles an hour. Typically, we're seeing 94 to 96. There's a slider.
Squibbed out to Segura. Cano quickly on to first, not in time. Machado cut down at second base, but Scope's safe. We'll see what Scott wants to take a look at this. Scott will want a challenge.
And they're going to take a look at it. Here's another look. That was
pretty
really
close.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was originally called safe. Here's another look at it. Can't see anything from that.
Now let's watch the shadow inside of Alonso's glove. We are at shadow watching. That is the stage of instant replay. Can you alter a shadow?
I don't think so.
I think Vince Scully once said that. We'll see.
Hopefully they'll call him out, and the explanation involves the shadow. For further review or look at the shadow.
I mean, is this part of the umpire rule book back in New York?
That is so close.
You can see the spikes off the bag there. I can't wait till this gets overturned and the official release from Major League Baseball to the clubs involved, saying that the deciding factor was the shadow of the ball disappearing inside of the glove of Yonder Alonso. As it stands, as it's been called, there will be 2 outs and runners on the corners. But if this is overturned, we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Let's find out. Safe. You gotta watch for the shadows next time, guys. That call stands as called. Fielder's choice for Jonathan Scope. Beckham, who reached on the go-ahead RBI single, is now at third base. Here's Mancini batting cleanup. On the first pitch, Valencia down to his knees, gets off a throw. This one's in time. Scope cut down at second base. Fielder's choice for Mancini. Orioles have taken the lead. Lead 4-3 as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. MLB.com At Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Mariners baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Mariners home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast news, and more. You can download MLB.com At Bat today. Top of the order due up here in the bottom of the 5th for the Mariners. It begins with Gene Segura. the opposite way. Segura's first hit. Now the Mariners put the tying run aboard right away.
Well, inside out swing on a fastball, trying to run it in on his hands, ends up in the middle of the plate. Slicing line drive into right. Gene's been running better lately. See if he wants to try to steal a base. Mariners are third in the American League in stolen bases. As Heredia steps in. Got a double down the left field line his last time up.
6 home runs on the year. He's the go-ahead run. Laying off the first pitch for ball 1. Mariners entered today a game and a half outside that second wild card spot. Trading the Twins and the Royals. Tied with the Rays and leading these Orioles by a slim half game. The 1-1. Already ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Cano on deck. Keeping Segura close over at first following that leadoff single.
Heredia can use the entire field, and I think his first 2 swings trying to hit the ball to the right side. Big hole on the right side of the infield. He scoped the second baseman playing towards the middle. Davis, the first baseman, having to hold the runner on.
That gets him, and it gets him really bad. Second hit batter. We'll see how shaken up Heredia is.
Take a look at it. Pretty good fastball running in on him. Jimenez has had a good 2-seamer. Right in the bottom of the forearm. Rick Griffin, the trainer. And you can hear it. Solid contact. That's what they're ready right now. Just waiting to see if they get some feeling back in his fingers and his hand.
Have 2 on. You know, Mike Heredia had that clean, albeit hard slide into second base yesterday. We've already seen a hit batter today. No remnants of that, do you think?
No. Where these 2 clubs are, they're trying to win the game. Maybe if the score was a little more lopsided, we could think about it, but with a 1-run game, no chance.
Gotcha. Activity stirring. Richard Blyer in the bullpen getting loose for the Orioles. See what Robbie can do. He looks at strike one.
Watching Casey over talking to Heredia. Have you noticed that when guys get here, they're at first base, and when Casey gets involved, there's usually some laughing going on?
You don't say. Over Beckham's head into left center. Segura getting waved in. Robinson Cano has tied this game at 4.
There you go. For Robbie now 77 RBIs on the year. Another run scored for Segura. And he gets a fastball out over the plate, belt high. Doesn't try to do too much with it, just barrels it up. Solid line drive over Beckham, the shortstop's head. Segura having to wait just a split second to make sure he wasn't able to elevate and make the catch. Mariners now 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Second base now. And here comes the man leading the league in RBIs. Now they're trying to drive in a run for his 9th consecutive game.
Strikeout swing and then was hit by a pitch.
Going after the first pitch, 0-1. Cruz ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Nelly a home run shy of number 30. 4 RBI shy of 100. Scope the second baseman in shallow right field. One out, 2 on for Yonder Alonso. Well, our Century League, what's next? A day out tomorrow for the Mariners, then a 3-game series beginning the long road trip. We'll be on the air Friday at 3:30 with the pregame show. Erasmo Ramirez, who began the season with Tampa Bay, coming over the days leading up to the deadline. Steve Cishek deal. He will go in game 1. Ariel Miranda going in game 2 against Jake Odorizzi, and then Giovanni Gallardo going up against former first-round draft pick and Seattle's own Blake Snell. Alonso stares at strike 1.
Alonso able to get the count to 3-2 his last time up. Ended up getting a fastball in the middle of the plate as he hit it into the stands. Aggressive swing on a fastball up out over the plate.
Even his out today was a hard out. Took a tremendous catch by Mancini in left field. The 0-2. And here's the home run you were just referencing, Mike. Last time up for Yonder Alonso.
And again, the fastball right in the middle of the play. They wanted to go to the outside corner. Didn't quite get it there. Back into the stands, his 23rd home run of the year.
That gave the Mariners the lead at the time being. Now tied. one's been back and forth today. Orioles took the lead first batter of the ball game. Tim Beckham leading things off with a homer. Mariners tied in the third. Took the lead in the fourth. Ground ball. They have the shift on, and this squeaks into left field. Heredia tearing around third base. Meanwhile, Cano going first to third. Alonso has given the Mariners the lead. He has driven in 3 of the 5 Mariners runs. Mike's not always how hard, but where are you headed?
Yeah, right off the end of the bat, cued it. Machado, the third baseman, not able to get to it. And a good play by Robinson Cano to go around to third base. Nobody at third. Robbie's going to run right past Machado. Nobody there. So it's an easy play for him. Mariners now 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Valencia 1 for 2 at the double calls time.
Mariners add another.
Cano trots down the line and scores. Danny Valencia going after the very first pitch. His second hit today has made it 6-4 Mariners, and he has just knocked Ubaldo Jimenez out of the game.
And the Mariners have been aggressive on the fastball. First pitch fastball out over the plate. Danny with a double in the second inning, also going the other way. So Waring, right field out, picks up an RBI.
And what did you know? The Orioles get 4 runs in the top of this fifth. The Mariners get 3 runs in the bottom half and a chance for more. We've got a pitching change. Richard Blyer coming on for the Orioles. Threatening for more. Ubaldo Jimenez, his worst start in a month, Mike.
They struggled 4 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. He's responsible for the 2 base runners that are out there. He threw 94 pitches to get through 4 1/3, 57 strikes. Richard Blyer will take over. 35 appearances for him. Pitched well, a 1.81 ERA. Not many strikeouts, just 20 strikeouts in 44 2/3. Average fastball 89 miles an hour. Slider, cutter, changeup.
A sinker baller originally drafted and developed by the Texas Rangers. Has worked in longer relief roles this year with the Orioles. Facing Ben Gamble to get things going. Pretty even splits for Ben. We've seen that all season long, really.
hitters count for him. Mariners so far 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position, having a good afternoon.
Gamble, who at this point has actually done more damage in terms of an average against lefties, left on left. Alonso at second, Valencia at first. Through the right side. Alonso held at third base, so the Mariners have him loaded.
Take a look at the swing by Ben Gamble. Fastball out over the plate. The hole on the right side. Mariners 5 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
That's 3 hits in a row for the Mariners and 5 this inning. Now the one grand slam for Zunino nearly left Safeco Field earlier this year. Off the hands. Soft ground ball fielded by Machado on first in time for the double play. That wraps up a productive 5th inning for the Mariners. They grab 3 runs and take the lead out of the 6th. We'll take a look at our Columbia Bank difference of the game. The Mariners able to take the lead up and down the lineup. A lot of production in that bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, some clutch hitting from the Mariners today, including Robbie Cano driving in 77th. Alonso driving in 3 runs so far today, and Danny Valencia a couple of hits to drive in a run.
(6-4) Mariners have the lead. Each side with 3 runs in the 5th inning. We start the 6th and a change defensively for the Mariners. Gerard Dyson takes over in center field for Guillermo Heredia. Zick back up on the mound. Heredia hit by a pitch. Scored a run, drove in a run, also doubled today. First pitch strike to Trumbo. Well, neither starter going deep in this game. Both Gonzalez and Jimenez 4 1/3 innings. Gonzalez 4 runs, Jimenez 6. Think back to Trumbo during his days at Anaheim. When the Angels went out, it's been a ton of money on Albert Pujols. Trumbo went over to third base, tried that out for a little bit of time. That was a tough transition for Trumbo. Didn't play third base a whole lot, but was willing to do that. Probably had the thought that there was a better chance he'd be moving there than Albert.
Probably. He's always been a pretty good athlete. He runs well. He's a good throwing arm.
Off the mound and into center field. Orioles will bring the tying run to the plate. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Leadoff single by Trumbo brings up Chris Davis. Mariners have the shift on for him. Breaks his bat. Segura trying to get the tag. He does. Throw to first in time. Tricky play for Segura.
It's an interesting play. Tony Zick was going to jump for it, lets it go. It goes right to Segura. He has to take the time to tag him. Clearly, he is out at second. Gets rid of it. We have enough on it. And at first look, it looks as if they may change it. And now they're going to take a look at it.
Yep. Do get the lead man Trumbo, however.
This should not take long.
And it doesn't. Fielder's choice for Davis overturned.
Mark Zepchenski.
One out, one on. It brings up Joey Rickard. Rickard, a single and a run scored back in the fifth. Came home on a wild pitch.
Mark is getting ready for Seth Smith, who's on the bench today for Baltimore. AC pinch hits in the lineup. Chris Davis, the only left-hander, and he's at first base.
Check swing off the hands. Segura picks it up out of the grass, and a whip toss to first base in time. 2 outs. Davis into second.
Well, check swing right off of his hands. The jam, but Robbie, no problem for him. Easy play.
Davis at second base. A ball to strike as Joseph fouls that off his foot, it looked like.
Emilio Pagan was up earlier in the ballgame. He is now getting loose again, the right-hander for the Mariners. So he and Mark Zepchenski both ready to go.
Now the pen is always packed here at Safeco Field, especially on a day like this. Over 33,000 on hand for some day baseball. Easy play there, drifting towards the line. That'll end the top of the sixth and go to the home half. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Come try the new Smoky Jack Burger or Chicken Sandwich, limited time only. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Mariners take the lead with them on the bottom of the 6th inning here inside Safeco Field. A gorgeous day to be at the ballpark. Happy you're with us. Leonys Martin batting 9th, leads off the home 6th. Richard Blyer, left-hander, back on the mound for Buck Showalter.
Aaron, you and I were talking about it before the game, and it's amazing the difference of 1 run. You look at the Mariners this year. They scored 4 runs or more. They are 55 and 19. We'll get signed up for today, scoring 6 runs.
I'd say so.
We got some numbers on the other side of that.
Well, the Mariners just have not been able to win pitchers' duels this year. 3 runs or fewer. The win tally is up to 5 on the season. A high lift to right field, but does it have the distance at the wall? It does! Gone! Home run, Leonys Martin. Martin's 3rd on the season was punted to right.
It's on a breaking ball, leaves it right out over the plate. And Aaron looking for some hang time on this fly ball as he punts it out to right.
A little pop from the number 9 spot of the lineup today for Scott Servais.
The 4th plate appearance for Segura, hitting here in the 6th. He's 1 for 3 and a scorer run. Mariners now with 10 hits. Every starter with at least a base hit, except for Nelson Cruz.
Off the end of the bat, dying out by Davis, and Segura hustling his way to first base. His 2nd hit today, back-to-back multi-hit efforts for Gene Segura. Nothing new there.
There has to be a cut inside of the ball. Take a look at the swing right off the end of the bat. Davis thinks he's in front of it, and this ball is going to take a turn on him. And change directions, and by the time they figured it out, it's a base hit for Segura. His 2nd base hit.
First at bat for Gerard Dyson, took over for Heredia.
Chris Tillman getting loose in the pen.
Tillman, who's had a very tough season in the rotation, just recently moved to the bullpen for Buck Showalter. There goes Segura. This is flipped into left field. Mancini coming in to make the catch. Segura having a hustle back. He is doubled up. Well, Mancini is having a day defensively and having one heck of a rookie season.
Segura had taken off with the pitch, so he was trying to steal. He gets it all the way down to second base. By the time he picks up the fly ball, he hustles back. But clearly out.
Now 2 out to the bases empty. Cano looks at strike 1. Now Robbie right now tied with Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar on the all-time doubles list. He's now 4 doubles shy of Babe Ruth, 6 of Ricky Henderson, and 10 away from Edgar Martinez. One and 2. Zimchinski continuing to warm up for the Mariners. Chasing after it. That ends the inning. Martin going deep, 3rd time this year. Plenty of hang time, just enough distance over the wall in right field to extend this lead. 7-4 Mariners through 6. Now the Martin home run making this a 7-4 Mariners lead as we go to the 7th inning. The Eagles and Doobie Brothers are coming right here to Safeco Field on Saturday, September 30th for a unique rock and roll doubleheader. Tickets are on sale right now for the Classic Northwest at Ticketmaster.com. Couple of home runs today for the Mariners. Martin the latest, Yonder Alonso back in the 4th. 9-1-2 due up for the Orioles. It begins with Craig Gentry. On the first pitch, right underneath the dive of Gene Segura and out to Ben Gamble. Gentry an RBI triple, now a single.
Solid line drive, base hit, first pitch fastball. Both teams being aggressive today, swinging the bat. It's just out of the reach of Segura. Got service out in the dugout.
And this has been one of the longer outings just simply in terms of innings for Tony Zick. An inning and 2/3. Leadoff single to Gentry. Beckham due up. We will see Emilio Pagan in just a moment.
Hi, everybody. Angie Mentink here at the Ford Sports Desk. Just to my left here at Safeco Field, they have a place where you can get a certificate if it's your first Mariners game, and they'll give you a certificate for your first Mariner game. I'm not exactly sure if they do that for your first time in a Mariners suite, but Jasmine sends in this photo up there for the first time, apparently thanks to us. So that's awesome. The hashtag to use is Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines, and Heather is celebrating her 40th birthday just as the Mariners are celebrating their 40th anniversary. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club, Heather. And Emery is surprising mom with her first ever Mariners game, and they could go get one of those certificates just off to my left. The hashtag to use is Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines, and when you use that, it gives us permission to use your photo. Hey, Pagan throws 2 innings last night. No rest for the weary or the wicked.
No, there isn't. You can take a look at it. 15 appearances for him, a 2.27 ERA, 32 strikeouts, 31 and 2/3. Opponents hitting 176, and Angie's right. He was really good last night, but it's one of those things. You have the day off tomorrow. Mariners traveling after the game to Tampa. Start up again on Friday, and this will help. 1 pitch. Like Gamble's underneath it.
Keeps closing on it, makes the catch. Now, Tim Beckham is not somebody that the Mariners will be eager to see again at Camden Yards. He's had a fine series, including a couple of hits today, a home run. Out on the first pitch, now facing Manny Machado. Machado lofts this to right field. Max Martin up just in front of the track. Pretty efficient start for Emilio Pagan. I'll say this, Mike. A lot of times we talk about a guy coming out of the bullpen working in long relief, saving the bullpen, and oftentimes that is referred to a point in the game where maybe things are a little bit out of hand. But you look at Pagan, when he has worked multiple innings, which has been the vast majority of his outings, nearly all of them have been scoreless. And this is a guy who's not only given Scott Service innings in long relief, but has also been very, very strong innings of that, not just a guy to record outs.
He throws strikes. He's able to mix in his slider and a changeup to go with the good fastball. His fastball on average 94 miles an hour. I think right now, probably aware that Baltimore has been really aggressive. He pitched a couple innings against them last night. 2 quick outs on the fastball up in the zone.
Now this should be the definition of an immaculate inning. Really? Shouldn't it? I mean, this is more like it. 3 pitches, 3 outs. Pagan out of the bullpen. takes us to the stretch. Well, get out and root for Washington's lottery. Come out and play today. Beautiful day around Seattle. You know, the end games are going on right now for the guys, and plenty of ping pong being played these days, along with the normal pool table inside the clubhouse here at Safeco Field. Mariners take the lead into the bottom of the 7th. Nelson Cruz will be the first to face former starter, now reliever, at least for the time being, Chris Tillman.
16 appearances, ERA just under 8. Opponent's hitting .347. He's got 16 home runs. Rough year. 1-7 record. Ping pong, Aaron. Backhand, forehand.
Oh, whatever I need. Left hand, right hand.
Slice it.
Yeah. Top spin, backspin. Which direction you want to go? Cruz looking for his first hit, facing Tillman here. I could see there being some pretty mean ping pong tournaments inside the Blowers household.
Yes.
That could be vicious. Tillman making only his 2nd ever relief appearance. He threw an inning and a third. At this point, just a few days ago on this road trip at the Coliseum, an inning and a third scoreless. That lowered his ERA from 8.10 to 7.94.
And as you can imagine, being a starter, now working out of the bullpen, throws all 4 pitches: fastball, slider, curve, changeup. Average fastball 93 miles an hour.
They have the shift on, and Nelson Cruz makes him pay.
Now all the starters have a base hit today.
9-game hitting streak for Nelly.
And Scope, the second baseman, playing up the middle, right behind second base. Nelson picks up a base hit, hitting the ball the other way. Bring up Alonso, really having a nice afternoon. Has a couple of hits. It's 2 for 3, including a home run. He's driven in 3 runs. Nick Vincent getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
Alonso right through the shift. Back-to-back base hits for the Mariners. Nelson Cruz, now Yonder Alonso. Well, fans, Pizza Hut is introducing Hut Rewards, a new rewards program where you can earn free pizza faster. Right now, members can get double rewards on all purchases through October 1st. Sign up today at pizzahut.com/Hut Rewards. Back-to-back singles to begin the home seventh. Here comes Danny Valencia.
Danny also with a couple of hits today. A double to right center, a base hit to right field that drove in a run.
On the first pitch, a ground ball. Beckham bobbles, stays with it, and they get 2 out of it. Cruz left standing. He's at third. Well, time now to get to our Geico This Date in Big League history. We take you back to 1993. Randy Johnson strikes out 4 Orioles to record his first of only 2 career saves. Our very own Mike Blowers was in that game. Well, 3 scored a couple of times, Mike. Intentionally walked. They knew that Blower Power was ready to bring it.
I'm trying to remember. Wonder why Randy would come in a game like that, middle of August, to save the game.
Looked at the box score from that one. Nothing immediately jumped off the page. I couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if maybe he was been hurt and needed to get some work, or I'm not sure what was going on. Maybe it was his throw day and they decided to pitch him out of the bullpen. I don't know. I'm sure that he pitched his share of innings that year.
I would think so. Joseph a little shaken up. And Nelly and Manny talking things over a little bit at third base. The first year that Nelson was with the Mariners back in 2015 when we went to Baltimore, Manny had his bowling tournament to benefit a local charity and invited Nelson, and Nelly partook in the bowling. These Pens better watch out.
I would say so.
Those 2 guys,
so 2 friends,
pretty good friends.
Yeah,
I think so. Two outs for this 2-1. Line to left field. Mancini closing. Does he make that catch? He hauls it in. Well, the Mariners will be eager to see Mancini get out of left field after this series is over with. to the 8th inning here from inside Safeco Field. Mariners leading 7-4. Include Mariners baseball in your Labor Day holiday plans. Monday, September 4th is BECU Half Price Day at the ballpark, where fans can score select seats for $13, plus enjoy happy hour specials. Stop by mariners.com/specials for tickets. Well, worth looking again at last night, the bullpen usage for the Mariners in back of Andrew Albert's Mike. These guys, a fine job. No surprise last night in game 2.
No surprise, and with the Mariners having lead, we've already seen Pagan. Sepchinski was up in the bullpen earlier, did not get into the game, but now we're in the 8th inning, and Nick Vincent is going to take over. So these guys getting some work.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. You look at the numbers here for Vincent.
For the year, ERA at 2. Fastball at 90 miles an hour. Cutter at 87, 88, and a slider. Danny Espinosa will take over at third. Danny Valencia done for the afternoon. Danny with really a good afternoon. Couple of hits for him, including a double and an RBI. Started a double play at third defensively, made a number of plays. And Espinosa, who had to start yesterday, will come in and play defense.
The 0-2. Tell you what, Mike, the numbers for Mancini this year, you can tell those pretty clear as day, especially for a rookie. They really jump off the page, but did not know his abilities in left field until this series.
I'll be curious to see what he looks like in the 3 games in Baltimore, because he's taken away a number of hits. He's taken away a number of hits today.
Yeah. Alonso at first base handles this himself. 1 out.
Zach Britton getting loose in the pen for Baltimore, hard-throwing left-hander. Diaz starting to get loose for the Mariners. There's Zepchinski. He's been up a few times today.
One out, nobody out for Trumbo.
Cutter right on the outside corner.
Martin near the line in right field. 2 outs. I'll update tomorrow for the guys, and then on Friday, the beginning of a 3-game series from the Trop, our CenturyLink What's Next. Friday, we hit the air at 3:30. Another look at Erasmo Ramirez taking on his former team in Tampa Bay. Ariel Miranda on Saturday, the middle game of the series, and then Giovanni Gallardo going on Sunday. 3 games to begin the lengthy 4-city road trip. Mariners saw Blake Snell last year, the former first-round draft pick out of Seattle. You'll never guess whose favorite player was growing up. Here comes the first pitch on the way to Davis. A deep drive back to center, and it bangs off the wall. How in the world did that not get out? Davis may be thinking that was gone. Did he slow down a little bit around first base?
He definitely thought he had a chance to hit it out of the ballpark.
Oh, got to pick it up. Pick it up.
Didn't miss it by much. Stay in the ballpark.
That's a double either way for Davis, whether he's going full throttle or not, but probably even Dyson maybe thought that ball was gone. Jonathan and 1 to Joey Rickard. Vincent's 1-2.
He's just staying with the cutter. Such a good job this year, especially against right-handers, dialing up the outside corner with his cut fastball. Again, this cutter will be 87 to 88. You'll see his four-seamer typically at the top of the strike zone. Four-seamer at 90.
Espinosa, who has taken over at third base, fights the sun a little bit, and he makes the catch. Now, Nick Vincent has been almost untouchable at home. He has not given up a run at Safeco Field this year now in 28 appearances, and he came that close to giving up a home run. Mariners take the lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. Now make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave. Each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light mini fridge just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Picture perfect day here in Seattle inside Safeco Field. Mariners are getting closer to a series win against these wild card contending Baltimore Orioles, and now in the bottom of the 8th facing one of the best relievers when healthy, Zach Britton.
24 appearances. You see 10 saves on the year. Obviously, Baltimore behind in this game. Holmes hitting .292. He's getting up 1 home run, 19 strikeouts, over 10 walks. Very good fastballs. Average fastball this year, 96 miles an hour. Has a slider. Talk a lot about Mariano Rivera through the years and the cut fastball, and everybody knows that he's going to throw it. Still can't do anything with it. Well, Britton, fastball slider. Against right-handers this year, he throws his fastball at 94% of the time.
I wonder what's coming.
Yeah, but he gets people out. He's one of the best. You know, just watching this series, Aaron, the Mariners getting things turned around and playing much better baseball, and hopefully that'll be the case when they go out on the road. But you look at it, they have a day off tomorrow going into Tampa. 3 with Tampa, Atlanta for 3. Day off in New York. They played 3 there. finish with 3 against these Orioles, come back home and get a day off, which will basically get them into September. So when you think of the real strength of this club right now, which is their bullpen, we've been showing the numbers throughout the game. It's nice that they're going to get a day in there to recharge the batteries if things are going well, because the back end of the bullpen will pitch a lot, right, if things are going well.
That's kind of the state.
It's been a huge strength for him.
On the state of this team right now for Scott Service is no matter which way the game shakes out, the bullpen's going to be used a lot.
Right.
It's just a matter of which segment of the bullpen and whether or not you'll have a roster move the next day or not.
There you go, Mike.
Zunino dumps this into right field. Never easy against Britton.
A couple of hits for Mike today.
Third time he's reached base.
Really good approach, fastball up, out over the plate. Solid line drive into right field. Had a double earlier in the game down the left field line. He's also scored a run. So I think if you're looking, at some of the issues which we've talked about, the rotation, the pluses are those days off with the schedule. Obviously, it's going to be difficult going on the road, but will help the bullpen out. As you see, Diaz again has 13 saves since the All-Star break. And probably has to help out Scott a little bit too as he tries to manage these guys, knowing that those days are showing up for him on the schedule. Basically 6 games and then get another day. With how he's going to use the bullpen, when he's going to use the bullpen. We talked about Pagan going 2 innings yesterday. Came in, just threw 3 pitches today, but the fact he was able to bounce back knowing that you have tomorrow off plays a factor.
Big time. Check swing and appeal. He goes. 1-2. And play up the middle, scope. A low pick on to first base, and it's in time to Nat Martine. Tune in every Sunday to watch a new episode of Mariners All Access. Get exclusive player interviews, behind the scenes footage, and Mariners stories you can't find anywhere else. If you missed Sunday's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Mike, I thought last year Zach Britton was a part of one of the more interesting debates all season long in the game, and that was, should a closer win the Cy Young? He received 5 first-place votes. He finished 4th in the voting overall, and his streak right now in terms of closing games has been fantastic. He's locked down his last 59 save opportunities, the most recent one coming on this road trip Thursday. It's a new American League consecutive saves record. But you think about Eric Gagne won the Cy Young as a closer. Dennis Eckersley won the Cy and the MVP back in 1992. But it's spurred a lot of debate, pretty polarizing subject as to whether or not a guy who pitches maybe to just 3 batters a night should win the MVP, or pardon me, win the Cy Young. The people who were against it would bring up the point that there are some nights where maybe you're facing the bottom third of the order.
Sure, I understand all of that. I think, though, that if you consider how many games he pitched in, what was his percentage as far as his saves go, compare that to everybody else and see where you're sitting at that point. I think you have to consider all of that. I feel that on the Cy Young part, it's a little bit easier for me to lean that way as opposed to the MVP.
Sure. Eckersley a bit of an outlier in that case. Segura picks up his 3rd hit. His average is beginning to push 320 now.
Well, you look at all those numbers and you consider that, Aaron. How do you feel about it? I personally, I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem as long as there's something that is so overwhelming.
Well, that's where he was at, right? That's the kind of year you're talking about.
Right. You look at what Rick Porcello, of course, ended up winning the Cy Young last year, and that seemed like a very fitting honor.
Yes.
Verlander coming in second. I thought the conversation was fun. I thought it was great. I thought Porcello was for sure the person most deserving of it.
I agree. The other part too, we're talking about Britton in the conversation last year. A lot of conversation this year up to the deadline. People thinking that Baltimore is going to move him. Look at the situation that they're in right now, right there with the Mariners. Probably happy that they still have him.
No doubt about that.
We were talking about moving Machado at one point. His name was starting to show up. So it's interesting how things turn out. And here they are.
That's what made this deadline so tough for so many general managers, because it seemed like the majority of teams were within just a handful of games of a wild card spot.
Yeah.
So how much do you want to give up for a roll of the dice? There goes Segura. Throws wide to second base. Segura's having himself a fine afternoon. 3 hits, a run scored, and now back. His 18th. Along the lines of those wild card standings, an updated look. Angels holding down that second wild card spot behind the Yankees. Mariners 2 games in back of the Angels. A game behind the Twins and Royals, and of course the Orioles nipping on the Mariners and the Rays' heels. Mariners and Tampa Bay.
Some big series that are coming up. And that's not just what the Mariners are up against, but across baseball. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's amazing what that second wild card has done.
Can't imagine not having it now. Dyson aboard. 2-out walk. Segura at second. Dyson at first. A ton of speed on the base paths for Robbie. Roger McDowell, the pitching coach. Not sure how often he has visited Zach Britton over the last year or so.
That's a great point. He puts his feet up in the dugout, doesn't he? He is ready to go.
Maybe Roger knows these numbers you're seeing here for Robbie against Britton. Strike to Cano. Now Robbie's got a chance to really open the doors on this one. Already a 3-run lead. It's getting loose in the event that this one is extended past a 3-run advantage. Joseph off to the mask and the sunglasses. Only thing left is the glove. He makes the catch. That ends the inning. We'll be seeing Edwin Diaz. We go to the 9th. Mariners lead it by 3.
Welcome back. We are headed to the ninth inning. Mariners lead at 7-3 ahead on Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. We will recap this back and forth contest with reaction from inside the clubhouse. Both those guys left the yard today. Ryan Roland Smith will explain what happened to Marco Gonzalez in the fifth inning. Plus, we'll talk about the upcoming Mariners road trip. It's all after the final out on Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. Guys.
Edwin Diaz.
51 appearances on the year. 26 saves, again 13 of them here in the second half. 70 strikeouts with 51 in the third. Opponents hitting 185. Fastball will be in the upper 90s with a hard slider. (13 saves since the All-Star break. Leads Major League Baseball.
I said this earlier, but you think about Diaz. There was a point earlier this season where Scott said we will have to start pitching Edwin in situations other than save situations just simply to get him some work. That has not been the case since the All-Star break. Seth Smith is on deck. 1-2. Diaz with 2 more saves than the next man on the leaderboard since the All-Star break. Kenley Jansen, one of the best in the National League of the Dodgers. Next closest in the American League here in the second half, Alex Colon. Colon of Tampa Bay, will be seeing him starting Friday. The 2-2. It's an inside with 98, a full count. Into right field, Marti can't make the catch. A foul ball.
The bat, I didn't think he had much of a chance, but he had a great break on it. Reaches out to go off the end of his glove, just out of his reach.
Leadoff walk to Joseph. Seth Smith bats for Craig Gentry.
So far, Diaz has topped out at 99 miles an hour.
That was the first walk of the day by a Mariners pitcher. Pretty close, but ball 1. Two and nothing. That brings out Mike Zunino.
10 pitches, just 4 strikes so far. Hasn't thrown a slider yet. It's all fastballs.
missing to make it 3-0. Tying run coming to the plate. 4-pitch walk to Seth Smith.
And Mel Stoudemire on his way out of the dugout. Also turning the lineup over back to Beckham, the leadoff hitter. He's just struggling with his fastball command. He has a good fastball today. He's been 95 to 99 miles an hour. Really just getting some work in.
There's 2 outings ago for Diaz where he really struggled with his command. He walked 3. That was against the Angels, dealt the loss. First pitch to Beckham, missing with a slider, ball 1. Poised to strike over that time with a fastball.
One pitch at a time.
Beckham with 2 hits already today, a home run. 1-2.
There's a good slider. After the fastball for a strike, able to come back with a slider, knowing that Beckham's going to be aggressive. Smart pitch. He had to get the strike with the fastball first, though. He was able to do it as Machado wakes on deck.
Your time, your time, your time.
Diaz has had just 1 double play turned behind him this year. 2 on, nobody out, 2-2 the count to Beckham with Machado on deck. Count stays put. Diaz ready to go. Another 2-2. Missing with the slider to run it full. The 3-2. Diaz has walked him loaded.
No, 3-2 slider that time off the plate away.
Machado on Monday night, a grand slam. Already the 6th of his career, the 2nd of this road trip for Machado. Machado with 6 grand slams in his career. Willie Mays had 8. Machado has cashed in so far in his young career with the bases loaded. 1-0.
20 pitches, just 7 strikes. Really struggling with his fastball command.
close. Tying run is at first base to go ahead. Machado at the plate as Segura comes to the mound. Zipchinski getting loose. Soft flare. Right center field. Martin sliding backhand catch. What a play. It results in a run, but Martin pulling a rabbit out of the hat in right field.
Because of the velocity, he was playing over towards the line. A sliding backhanded catch. Great concentration. And I think he also saw that Dyson wasn't going to be able to get there, and he really turned it on.
Much needed out, number 1. 0-1 to Jonathan Schoop. Smith at second base, Beckham at first. 0-2.
Two pretty good sliders.
Zunino keeps it in front of him. Tying run at first base for the Orioles. Shattered bat and a foul ball.
Check it for court.
This is what 98 blowing up a bat looks like.
And that turns it into kindling. Almost hit his thumb. 98 with some run to it.
Six pitches now for Diaz in the ninth. 1 out, 2 on. Lead cut to 2. Schoop caught looking 100 miles an hour, and he is frozen.
Miles an hour right on the inside corner. Nice job by Mike Zunino to frame it. Borderline pitch, but he was able to get the call.
Mike, I will never know how a big league catcher stops 100 miles an hour dead in its tracks and actually freezes it in one spot.
Yeah, if you had the opportunity to shake Mike's hand, he's pretty strong back there.
That seems superhuman.
Yeah, he's something else.
First pitch to Mancini. That is ruled ball 1. Now on a day where Diaz has struggled with command, would love to have that one be ruled a strike. One and 1. Mariners are 1 out away from a series win against Buck Showalter's Orioles.
Sneak a good one in there! Sneak a good one in there!
Situation remains the same. Tying run at first base to go ahead at the plate. Down with 21 homers. And the count rolls even, 2-2. Diaz a strike away. Smith at second, Beckham at first. 2 outs, 2 on. Diaz to 2-2. Check swing, and a pitch inside. Count is 4.
It was a slider, backed up on him a little bit, didn't have much break to it, 89 miles an hour. Outfielders playing deep.
The 3-2. Does he go around? He does not. Bases are loaded.
Scott Service, he wants it to be a swing. He thinks it's a swing. He doesn't understand it.
He's pretty hot about this too.
Now we'll take a look at it. This
He's got heat, by the way.
Well, his pitch is up and in. He starts his swing early. You have to because of the velocity of the fastball. And the ball clearly hits him. I'm not sure that it was a foul ball. And then you have to decide whether he was a swing or not. And that's what Service is not happy about. You can see Mike Zunino asking for help right away, thinking that might have been a swing also.
Now Scott has been run from this game. Meanwhile, one of the trainers and Buck Showalter, Buck making his way out of the steps, but one of the trainers out to have a look at Mancini.
And through all of this, Diaz now 34 pitches in the inning.
Now facing Trumbo. 2 outs, bases loaded. Tying run now in scoring position. Three walks and a hit back. In off the plate. You see the amount of run on his fastball causing some of the problem. And this hits him. A run is in. This is a one-run game.
And that front shoulder is just flying open. He's so fast in his arm speed, and that's the reason why the fastball is running so much. Hard to tell if that hit the knob of the bat. I think that's what Mike Zunino they're checking on to see if it hit the knob. And Bogart out of the dugout. Take another look. I think it's a piece of the knob.
Yeah.
Wow.
37 pitches for Diaz, ties a career high. It'll be Zipchinski to try to finish this one off. 6th inning. The bases are loaded, 2 outs now. 2 runs have crossed for the Orioles. Davis is due up facing the left-hander Mark Ziemczynski.
46 appearances on the year, 2-0 record, 2.96 ERA. He's really pitched well for the Mariners. Opponents hitting just 209 against him. Good fastball, 92 with some sink to it, and a slider. This is one of the strangest innings you're going to see. A couple of runs in. There's not been a hit in the inning. 3 walks, 2 hit batters.
Runners all around. Beckham at third, Mancini at second. Trumbo hit by a pitch at first base. Chris Davis coming on here. You can see the numbers for Davis, left on left in particular.
He is 3 for 10 in his career against Mark.
Ziemczynski only 1 career save. That was back in 2014 with the Indians. Needs 1 out to finish this one off of the ninth. 0-1, good start.
Good fastball at 94. And typically his average fastball 92 miles an hour with some run.
The numbers for Davis against Ziemczynski. 0-2. No margin for error for Ziemczynski here. The Orioles have the tying run at third base to go ahead at second. A strike away. The 0-2. Strike 3 called. Ziemczynski, 3 pitches, all dialed into the zone, and that is the ball game.
A little bit scary, as you said earlier, Aaron, but they ended up getting it done. They win the series. Martin with a home run in the game. Really played well defensively. Mark Ziemczynski, 3 straight strikes from all of the fastballs to a pretty good fastball hitter. Nowhere to put him, though, with the bases loaded. And this is going to be right down the middle, probably looking for the slider. He never ended up seeing it at all. And Martin happy about it.
This was not exactly how they drew it up, but the Mariners do get the win, and they take the series 2 games to 3. 2 games to 1, pardon me. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. It begins right now. Brad, Ryan, it's all yours, guys.
All right, Aaron, thank you. 7-6, boy. Chris Davis doing what Chris Davis does. That is strike out. And he does to end the game. Mariners win at 7-6. They win the series. 40 games left. They're back to 500. Ryan, this one a big one to get for them for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it was. And getting that series win, they've been talking about that in this last stretch. The only real hiccup they've had in this stretch of games, you know, looking back at the last road trip, is a sweep from the Angels. Besides that, they've been playing some pretty good baseball.
All right, 9th inning. Tell us what happened to Edwin Diaz and Mark Ziemczynski coming in to save it, his first save of the year. Let's look at that first at-bat. 3 pitches to Davis. Looked like all fastballs and just couldn't pull the trigger.
Just challenged him. That's a good fastball, 94. His average fastball is around 92. But he was bringing it today, and they had that good run into the left-hand hitter's hands. Chris Davis strikes out a ton, and that 0-2 pitch just challenged him. Here it is, hit it. I love it. Good way to finish this game after Eddie Diaz got a little shaky. We've seen that before.
A little shaky. 37 pitches. We'll talk about Eddie Diaz in the 9th inning, the bullpen, and of course our starter Marco Gonzalez right now. Though, let's talk some offense. Yonder Alonso getting it done. He's with Jem Mueller.
I have been waiting to do this interview. I knew it was going to happen. Yonder Alonso with already a career high in home runs. We'll talk.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, welcome to the post-game interview. And who else but Danny Valencia to give you that? Let's start right there. How mad are you going to be at Danny Valencia, considering that you guys were teammates in Miami together?
Oh, man, it's all fun. It's all fun. He's a good friend. He's a good teammate, and he's always pulling for me, and I'm always pulling for him, so it's fun.
All right, so you get the start today at first base while he's starting at third base. But I want to know about your view of Leonis Martin catch there in the ninth. That was a game saver.
Yeah, we were playing him pull, and that ball was hit to right center, and we were holding our breath, and here comes Superman and saved the day. So that was a good out. That was just a good team win.
As for you and that home run, you hadn't seen Jimenez very much in your career. It's a full count. How are you approaching that, AB?
Yeah, well, you know, he's got a lot of good pitches in his arsenal, and, you know, I was just trying to get a strike and hopefully just put good wood on it. And, you know, I just got lucky.
Lastly, it's your first home run since July 30th. Your first as a Mariner. What has it taken to keep that swing going when you have so much change in the middle of the year?
All the guys here, those guys they have my back every single day, and it's fun to come here to work and do the things you got to do to win a ball game. And for me, it's just to win at the end of the day. So any way I can help the team win, that's just a positive.
And it's fun to be part of the hit parade. 15 hits today for the Mariners. Alonso accounting for 3 of those. Brad.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. Alonso doing what they brought him over here to do, and that's hit righties. He did that today with 3 hits, including his first home run as a Mariner. Nice breakout game for him.
Yeah, you could see this coming. I felt like he was just a tick off since coming over here. He was hitting the ball hard right at people, but when Jimenez didn't have that fastball command, and he dished one up a 2-1 count, and he absolutely crushed it.
Baldo's earning over 6, and he gave up 6. That earned run average just keeps going up. Let's get up to the booth. Aaron and Mike sticking around talking about Alonso, the first baseman, really coming through today.
Yeah, we want to stay home. We're not eager to get on that road trip.
No, of course not.
Hey, you know, Mike, this is not exactly what Scott Service was hoping for. I was tossed late in this ball game with the final few minutes, actually. Edwin Diaz clearly struggling. The good news is, though, the Mariners had enough of an offensive cushion to give a little bit, just enough wiggle room.
And they also had Mark Cincinnati to come and get the final out. You're right. Look, offensively, they're going to have to score runs until at least they get to September, where the rosters expand. We've talked about that, to get more pitching. But the key to them really is going to be the bullpen. Yes, Diaz struggled today. We have not seen that. 13 saves. That's the most in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. He had a rough one today. But fortunately, they're able to get the win because of the offense, and we're probably going to have to see more of that over the next 2 weeks.
Only the second career save for Mark Cincinnati, the first in his Mariners career. We just heard Jen talking with Yonder Alonso. Got to be nice for Yonder to get his first home run in a Mariners uniform.
Yeah, I think so. Look, you get traded, you're over to a new team. Everybody wants to get off to a fast start. Took him a couple of games to pick up his first hit, but now you look at the last few games for him. Looks much better, much more comfortable at the plate. He's having a terrific year. It's a career year for him, so it's nice to see him hit the ball in the seats.
Like I saw the clubbies wheeling all your luggage onto the team plane, so that's nice. Everybody's packing a little bit heavy for this one coming up, but this is going to be a big test for the guys.
It will be. Again, they're going to play 12 games on the road, all of it on the East, and these teams are in it. Outside of Atlanta, it's going to be difficult for them, so we'll see how it goes. The good news, we talked about it too, a couple of days off in there to help the bullpen because they're going to pitch a lot.
Now, day off tomorrow in St. Pete as we send you back out to the pen. To Brad and Ryan. Brad, I've got the SPF 75 down in, man. We're going to be good to go. We're all set.
You need that when you're paddleboarding.
That's right.
Enjoy it, guys.
We'll see you.
All right, we'll see you in New York on that second half of the trip. Jen gets the first leg, the first week. All right, they've mentioned Eddie Diaz has been so good since the All-Star break, yes, but when you tie a career high with 37 pitches and you don't even finish the inning, something was up today.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times this year, and it's just that commanding all your pitches, basically. It comes down to his mechanics. He has that fast into foot strike style mechanics. That front foot is always going to be in consistent landing. He is going to have issues with command throughout his career. That's just part of it. But when you throw 100, you can work around it. He just has to figure out how to make that adjustment on the fly. We started to see it a little bit, but just not enough, and just not able to command that fastball especially.
So he gives up 2 runs and makes it 7-6. He walked 3. He hit 2. Mark Cincinnati cleans up the mess, and it could have been worse. Bases loaded, Manny Machado up. You heard Jen ask Alonso about it. A great catch by Martin in right center field. You kept thinking this is an easy routine play, then nobody was there, and then all of a sudden, here he comes.
Well, first of all, you're battling the sun. That's one thing. Second of all, there was a bit, they were shifted around a little bit out of position. Leonis Martin is a natural center fielder, so when you're playing right field, you are naturally going to have a few hiccups there. But man, this outfield has been doing so many good things defensively. We see it day after day. So a huge break for Eddie Diaz, who was struggling.
Yeah, just the sacrifice fly to make it 7-5. He would then hit Trumbo, make it 7-6. Cincinnati 3 pitches, just like Pagan. 3 pitches for 3 outs. Cincinnati 3 pitches. Done deal. The Mariners win the game. They win the series. And welcome to the post-game interview. Yonder Alonso and his high school buddy. They went to college together, University of Miami, now playing together. And Valencia, here we go.
You got to know it's coming, right?
You know, he might not. I don't think A's do that. And Jen knew it was coming. She still got a little blue Gatorade all over her. All right, we're talking more about the trip coming up.